Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to PM with Kim, y'all. A marvelous and magnificent Monday evening to you. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I pray that your day was just that marvelous and magnificent, and that you are home, excuse me, and that you have made it through traffic, and that you are beginning your woo-saw wind down time, and that all is well in your mind, body, and your spirit, and that your day was better than you had anticipated. Mine wasn't magnificent or marvelous, but it wasn't terrible and it wasn't great. So it was just okay, and I'm all right. I'll take that. I will take that. No major anything to report. So to God be the glory. I got in and I got out. So here I am back in front of you this evening to share some thoughts and some information that I was able to find. And so I appreciate those of you who are my regulars, who come and sit with me on a regular basis and listen to me. And for those of you who are just joining this journey, welcome aboard. This is PM with Kim, where I give you some evening inspiration. And I have sectioned my days off so that the messages are focused. And so this is Mondays. So this is our mental and emotional health Mondays. So that is my focus on Mondays. And so I ain't gonna hold you long. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of information that was, I prayed about it, and just wanted to give a message to support people with, in mental and emotional health. Because I told you all, I was emotional last week, and I'm good, but I had my moments, and, here I am, and I had a little moment this evening, but I was like, you know what, Kim, you're all right. It's all good. Not gonna, let anything get in the way of my joy and my peace. So here I am. So one of the things I looked up and was researching that I'm focusing on tonight is how faith has a positive impact on emotional and physical health. Because our faith does. It really, really, really does. Or at least I can attest. Kim can attest to faith having a positive impact on my health and my physical health and my emotional health. And so I wanted to just kind of share with some of the information that I found to help you as you manage life, as we wrestle with things, and we stand up and we fight against the spiritual warfare that's happening in and around our lives. And so we just gotta have an arsenal. And our first arsenal is the Word of God, and putting on that whole armor, and just making sure we are covering ourselves in the Word and in prayer, and being vigilant and aware of what's happening in our world and in our mind and our heart and our spirit, and as it relates to things that happen to us. So guarding our mental and emotional health also stems over into our physical health. And so I just wanted to share some things with you to, just to help enlighten you, and we, help each other, but it's important that we keep hold to our faith, even when we're disappointed, even when we're discouraged, even when we're, feeling emotional, when we're feeling, doubt and discouragement and all of those things that happen on a daily basis, that we're being reminded, that we remind ourselves that our faith and our connection with God and our relationship will be the thing to get us through. But I do know scientifically, and just personally, that our mental and emotional health will impact our physical health if we don't manage properly. And so I want to just share, a little bit of information that I found and that I know, in part, some of my experiences, so that I can hopefully help you and remind myself of some things, So I'm reading from my notes because I want to make sure I'm giving it its just due. But it says faith positively impacts health by providing emotional and physical benefits such as stress reduction, resilience, and healthier lifestyle choices. And so I can say, yeah, for me, that really is, that's really the case, because my faith, when you're stressed, when I'm stressed, and when I'm going through, and when I'm battling, and when I'm just at my lowest, prayer and just being still helps to reduce the stress. It helps to reduce the stress and to bring me back to my center. And that's where we have to remember our center is that Jesus joy, that strength that we have down within that says we can manage through this. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so knowing the word and going to the word and praying and just really being still can help to reduce that stress. And then resilience, just fighting to keep on keeping on, hold on and keep on keeping on, because sometimes that's all we can do. That's all we can do. And especially the times that we're living in, and you may not be directly impacted with things, but you might have loved ones and friends and so forth who are, and we take on things. And so faith and prayer and spiritual connection with God, it will help with reducing the stress. It will help with you building your resilience, your wherewithal to keep fighting and keep walking and battling day by day, because it is a battle. It is a battle day by day. And then healthier lifestyle choices. I'm gonna tell you what, that is so important. When your emotional health can affect your health, and I can tell you what, full transparency, emotional health, emotional stress and being overwhelmed or whatever else can really affect your lifestyle. And I'm gonna tell y'all what, the last couple months, I've just been emotionally imbalanced. And I'm a Libra, so I talk about I need balance. My scales, when they off. And I hadn't been doing emotional eating for a long time. I hadn't dealt with that. But the last couple of months, I found myself falling back into some emotional eating. And I was like, whoa, hold on, Kim. Because that didn't serve you in the past. And so then I got back to my why. So why? And so I'm addressing my why, so that I don't, keep repeating that. And it's like, now I got to get up. I got 7 pounds I got to get rid of because I've been emotionally off. My eating has been off. I don't even eat a whole lot, but when y'all might eat a meal, and I might eat some cookies or some chips. Chips are my weakness. Chips are my food of choice. Like, I eat chips. Y'all eat a meal, I'm gonna eat some chips. So your emotional health is going to be tied into those things, those healthier lifestyle choices. And when we can manage our emotions, we make better lifestyle choices. And so the emotional piece says here, prayer and meditation can infuse a relaxed state of mind and body. It can lower stress and can help balance your spirit. So yeah, prayer, meditation, quiet time, sitting still, and coming down off of the stuff that you're dealing with, and just really just giving yourself a minute to detach from it, and get quiet and pray. It will reduce your stress. It will make you more relaxed, and thus not emotionally eat, and thus not fall into a pit and stay there. Yeah, we have our moments where we get low, but the key is not to stay there. And so prayer and meditation helps to relax your mind, your body, and your spirit so that you can get back to your wholeness and your wellness. It says provides a higher hope and determination in difficult times. That's where the key comes. Because when the storms of life start raging and the winds start blowing and the waves start dashing and breaking, that's when we got to have our spiritual muscle really got to kick in then, because that is the most crucial time, because that's the make or break time. That's the time when people will either say, forget it, I can't do this, or you know what, I made it through the other stuff, I'm gonna make it through this. And that's where that resilience and that holding on to God's unchanging hand and that connection, and it really will pull you back from the darkness, because we all go to the darkness sometimes, and the darkness being the despair and the hopelessness and the discouragement and all of those things. And so the prayer and the meditation and the quiet time and the connection with God will help to reduce those things. They will. It is a known fact. At least I know for me, that is what gets me over. And then faith will boost your optimism and change your perspective and your sense of purpose. When we change our perspective on things, it's like, you know what? I know I'm going through this. I know I don't like this. I know I don't like how this feels. I know that this is what I want, and that's what I want, and this is where I'm headed. But I'm focusing on my faith, because my faith is going to boost my spirits and remind me, you know what, Kim, you have a purpose. You do. You have a purpose, and you're not going to walk away from it. You have dreams that you're going to walk into. You're not going to walk away from them. You are going to get the desires of your heart. So you're not going to walk away from them. So my faith is that boost that I need. It's that boost that you need to will yourself back and to will yourself through some stuff so that you can walk in the best way of life for yourself. And then faith fosters a sense of community where you feel more connected, a sense of belonging, social support, and it develops your compassion. And so that is where the beauty of going back into a church building and having that fellowship one with another really can lift your soul. Now, like I said, I was last week I took off. I was low. I went to church. I wasn't even myself, my normal self in church, but I was there. And people noticed, and they are you all right? And people loved on me and prayed over me and helped me up. And that was the catalyst for me to be able to get myself back on track. But that, having that community of support, having that love covering, for me was a boost, and it can be for you too. So getting around your community, your church family, your local, groups, or whatever it is you have, your family members, your tribe, your friends, they, aligned with your faith, will boost your confidence. It'll build you up. And it will make you more compassionate so that when you're through your stuff, you can help somebody else through their stuff. And that is our assignment. That is what we're supposed to do. You know what? You might not be able to help somebody right there in the midst of your stuff, but if you can during the midst of your stuff, that's even better. Because for me, even, through the week as I got stronger, I'm still, I'm still, pouring out on people. I'm still, being there for people. And that for me helps me to get back to my balance, my secure place. And then so the physical aspects of faith and, the impact that it has on us, it will motivate you to adopt a healthier lifestyle that could include exercise, eating healthy, and building and maintaining stronger family connections. Exercise gets the chemicals going in your body. What is it? The endorphins and all of that. It gets your body moving, and and you're able to combat some of that negative energy. That's the stress hormone. What is that? Cortisol. The stress and the cortisol will help you store fat. And so exercising, walking, get in with your local gym, or get in with a friend or a family member and walking in the neighborhood, or finding the track, or riding your bike, or doing your little DVD. We all got DVDs in the house that we done bought over the years that we don't even use. Zumba, remember the Zumba was the big thing. Do something, move, or just get up and dance, move, exercise, because it gets your hormones going, your chemicals flowing correctly, and it will help you to get to your better place. And I get back to my exercise, and I do, because I found when I was regularly exercising, stress was minimal. Stress and emotional stuff, and stuff happens, but I was combating it with the energy and the movement, because that was making the emotions and everything else stabilize. So exercising, it is important. making eating healthy, like I said. And if when you start to go off on a tangent and you start eating the junk and start eating emotionally, check yourself, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And make healthier choices. Make healthier choices. Now, typically, I eat healthily. Like, I don't even eat a whole lot. But, making healthy choices, eating clean. This processed food that people are buying every day. If you go onto the Chick-fil-A and the McDonald's and the Burger King and the Chipotle and all of those, you eating out every day for a meal or two every day, I need you to either get you a meal service that's balanced and healthy, or learn how to cook you something, or the most raw you eat, the better you are. They didn't live to be 600 years in the Bible because they were eating meat. They were eating fruits and vegetables and herbs and spices. God left everything here that we need. We're just not taking advantage of it. We're eating all this processed food, and the processed foods, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not, I haven't done major research, but I can tell you what, the processed food is, I think, contributing to mental health issues. The chemicals. So let's start choosing healthier choices. Let's start eating as naturally and as organic as possible, and as raw as possible. The more raw you eat, the more nutrients you're getting. So eating better correlates with better health, and when you add the spiritual piece on top of that, you're winning. And then building and maintaining family and connections. Healthy familial connections with your family, with your friends, with your loved one. And those things help you when you have those strong connections. You and your child, you and your mate, your spouse, you and your family members, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your sisters, brothers, your whole thing. And then your friends, your tribe, your people. Maintaining those strong relationships will help to balance out as well. And that builds and grows your spiritual muscle, because you can then incorporate those with those people that you love, and they can in turn support you and hold you up and all of those things. So it really does. All of these aspects really do play a part in maintaining, our emotional and physical health, with the spiritual covering all over it. And then I came across this thing. It says research shows that faith can boost and strengthen the immune system. And I can tell you that, having been diagnosed with multiple autoimmune diseases, yes, ma'am, faith can. Yes, it will, because it impacts the flow of your blood. It impacts all of those things. And so faith, for me, has played a part in combating and in my healing. So absolutely, it will. I can't give you all the statistics, but go do your own research. It will not just your immune system, your cardiovascular, your nervous system, all of those things. When you're in a positive mind, body, and spirit, it is going to positively affect all of the systems in your body, and things work properly. Less stress, that means less your heart is pumping. Less stress, and your heart is pumping naturally, then your blood pressure is stabilized. You're eating healthy and you're maintaining and you're doing the right things. You manage your blood sugar levels, and you're not worried about diabetes. Also, all of those things tie in and they connect, and our faith is that covering. Again, I have put here, stabilizes your cardiovascular health through prayer, which helps to regulate your heart rate and your blood pressure. It does. You're stressed out. What do? You meditate, you pray, you sit still, you get quiet. Your blood pressure is way, way, way here. Your heart is racing, and you pray and you still yourself. And then thus your heart is calm, your blood pressure is down, and you're stabilizing your cardiovascular system so that your organs don't have to work as hard. Faith has been shown to provide strength during illness and injury. That is my testimony. When you are battling illnesses, you are battling diagnoses, faith has got to be your source. It has got to be your strength. It has got to be your deep down in your spirit source, so that you have a better chance of overcoming or getting through those experiences with a more positive outcome. And I am here to tell you, faith is what has brought me through the worst of worst in my health, and has brought me through because I go back to the woman with the issue of blood. For 12 years, she spent all her money. She went to doctors. She did this. She did that. She had no hope. She was ready to give up. And Jesus came through town, and she was like, you know what? This man has power. I know that if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I can be healed. And I said that when I got sick. You know what? I can touch the hem of his garment. He can make me whole. And that has been for the last 4 years my focus, my prayer, my everything. And here I am. Here I am, healthy, healed, and whole, and restored. And I got that coming up too again. I'm coming back to that. But it will get you through injuries and illnesses. And it says some research has found a correlation between higher levels of religion and longer life expectancies. Think about it. Biblically, 100 and something, 500 years, 600 years. So, it is, and then, you hear the stories about these people who are 105 and 100 and so and so. And, they've had these long lives and they still, even in their hundreds, they're still alert and whatever else. And every one of them attribute faith to their longevity. So there's a connection to that. And then to also, going back to, when you're dealing with your injuries and your illnesses, faith will get you through and it will have a more positive outcome. If you just kind of just hold on to the hope, because what happens is people get diagnoses and they give up. You don't put that hope behind that diagnosis, and you don't hold on to that faith and that strength, you're running the risk of not getting the positive results that you could get if you had just tapped into your faith a little bit more. And so there's an organization called the National Alliance of Mental Health, short NAMI. And so that's a good resource that, if you need support, they have resources and things that you can tap into. And they gave some information here. It said research suggests that religious beliefs reduce suicide rates, alcoholism, and drug use. Now, we know across the board people, even people who were spiritual, who have faith, still, have had suicide and still suffer with alcoholism and drug use and so forth. Doesn't erase it. It just means that the people who are really stronger in their faith have a better chance of overcoming those things in the long run. Some people don't, because the addictions and the things are real and they're strong, and they don't beat it. But the more faith you have and the more spiritual you are, the better chances you have coming through those things. Because, we all have family members who have been on drugs, have had alcohol problems, for a long, long time, and have come out of it and are good on the other side. So positive results do come, but then sometimes they don't. It's just how life goes sometimes. And then it says here, people often attribute their religious teachings as guidelines to live by. For example, the importance of doing the right thing. The teachings that we have grown up with, or the teachings that you have come to know in your adulthood, biblically based, spiritually based, help people to focus on that I just want to, the importance of doing the right thing. And that has, it plays on our mental and physical being. It teaches people compassion and forgiveness and gratitude. The more spiritual you are, the more you practice gratitude, the more you are compassionate, the more you are grateful. So And the more you forgive, and guess what? Forgiveness is a big key in the emotional, mental health realm, because forgiveness, if you hold on to unforgiveness, it stresses your body. It affects your mind. It wears you down. It is a burden. And people often carry unforgiveness against these people because they did this to me. They did that to me. They did this to me. They did that to me. But you have to learn to forgive people and release it, because forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. It's for your peace. It's for your ability to bounce back to life and to thrive and to move forward. They might not deserve it. They might not have asked for it. They might not have changed their behavior, but you have to get into the mindset of forgiveness so that you can have peace in your mind and in your body, your physical body, and in your spirit woman, your spirit man, so that you can thrive. Because if you hold on to that, you're holding on to stuff that's going to affect your health. So that's where the key to spiritual muscle in forgiveness, as it relates to forgiveness, you have to. It is imperative. That is the only way you're going to have peace. That's the only way you're going to thrive. You got to just let some stuff go, even when they don't deserve it, even when they haven't asked for it, because it is for you. It is not for them. And then there's a site called Altria Health Share, and it had a lot of good information. I'll put these names in the description, and you can follow up on the websites yourself. But this other one, I can attest to that before I close out. It said they had a factor on there. It says lower cancer. Faith can lower your cancer risk. Not only is your risk for cancer lower if a faith practice is put as part of your life, but your prognosis, if you don't get cancer, is also likely to have a better outcome. So, and you replace the word cancer, replace it with whatever disease, and your faith can lower your risk of developing these horrible diseases. You put the fill in the blank. It ain't just cancer. Cancer ain't the only thing that's messing folk up. But the stronger your faith, and the more your spiritual practices are in place, and the more that you are leveling off your mind, your body, and your spirit, the less likely you are to develop those chronic diseases and diagnoses. And it will help you even when you are diagnosed to get through. If you hold on to that faith and that strength and that connection with God, as you go through it, you have a better chance of winning or having a quality of life through it. So that is so very important. I'm going to tell you what, that's so true for myself personally. And then for my mother. My mother lived to be 80. And God kept her through 3 cancers. She had breast cancer and survived 15, 20 years after she had breast cancer, cleared up. After breast cancer, she was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma in her neck. Follicular lymphoma lay dormant for 20 years. Had no activity. It was just something they said she had. And then she got throat cancer. Came through that. It went away. So God kept her through 3 cancers because, one, we wasn't letting go. We weren't giving up our hope. We weren't going to let those diagnoses stop her, get her down. And she was, by the grace of God, through his strength, she made it through. But again, after a while, your body, it does what it does and it deteriorates. And then she, had 2 other cancers that came at the same time, real quick, real fast. And then she was gone. But for 24 years from the onset of her breast cancer in 2001 up to 2024, she had, some bouts, but God kept her and brought her through all of those because we would not let anything, taint our faith in our knowing that God is Jehovah Rapha. He's the healer. He will cover and keep. He will sustain. He will build. He will make it happen. And so those are the things that we hold on to. Those are the things that I hold on to. And I hope those are the things that you hold on to so that you can be strengthened in your mind and your body and in your spirit, so that you have the best opportunity to have a wellness in your body, your physical body, and that you have wellness in your spiritual mind, in your emotional mind, and it's just overall spiritually that you are well. And so we can do some things. We can do some things to ensure that we heighten our chances of being well, and having our faith and having our spiritual foundation is key. And then making those lifestyle adjustments and those things that we can do to then aid in what we're supposed to do to care for our bodies. Our bodies are the temple of the Holy Ghost. So they're not ours. They're ours to take care of. So that's my mental and emotional health Monday info for you. Faith has a positive impact on our mental and emotional wellness. And so the one scripture I'm going to leave you with, it says, "Behold, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul." 3 John 1:2. So do what you have to do to care for your mind, your body, and your spirit, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and in all of that. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. Stay connected. Let your faith grow, and pray, and be still, and meditate, and do all of the things you need to do to care for yourself, so that you put yourself in the right place, in the right space, so that you can thrive. And God will do what he does best. He will lead you, and he will guide you. He will protect you. He will cover you. He will keep you, and he will keep your mind. He will, if we keep our mind stayed on him, he'll give us perfect peace. And so when we're emotionally not well, we can go to him, and we can sit at his feet, and we can lay our burdens there, and he will help us, and he will give us rest, and he will give us what we need to be built up again. And then we have a responsibility to take care of our temple by exercising and eating and pouring into ourselves spiritually through our connection with God, and our Bible study and our reading and all those things. And then community, our family, our friends, our church, our people who can physically come and be in our space to help us make it through. So that's my mental and emotional health Mondays. I pray that this information helped you a little bit, and that it encourages you to just keep on, hold on, and keep on keeping on. And understand that the trials of life are going to come. They're going to toss you to and fro. But as long as you have God in your world, you have Jesus in the center of your heart, that joy, that peace will still be there in the midst of all of the stuff that you have to fight with in your daily lives. But trust him, believe him, and hold on to your faith, and your physical, your mental, your emotional health will be balanced. So that's it. That's all, y'all. I pray that the rest of your evening is richly blessed. I pray that when you lay down tonight, that your sleep will be peaceful and restful and sweet, and that the hand of God will rest upon you all night long, and that the angels will encamp around you and keep everybody in your home safe from any hurt, harm, or danger, and that you will awaken tomorrow refreshed, revived, renewed, and ready to run on to see what your Tuesday will be. Yes, Lord. And that's it, y'all. So just enjoy the rest of your evening. Relax, wind down, woosah, do something good for yourself, and remember that, if today wasn't the best, that tomorrow is another day to get it right. And that, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. You might go through the day, but tomorrow's a better day, and God is not going to forget you. Whew, so may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding. Peace that guards your heart, your mind, your soul, your body, and your spirit, and everything in Christ Jesus. Yes, I embellished, I added, but yeah, I want to put it all in there. Yes. And may the love of God cover you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. And may he pour out richly upon you his peace, his joy, his comfort, his strength, his mercy, his grace, and build you, hold you, and sustain you until you can walk tall and strong on your own. But he'll cover you and he'll keep you. So trust him and let him do what he does best. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings from my heart to yours. I love you. I love you. I love you. Go and be magnificent and marvelous for the rest of your evening hours. And then don't forget me in the morning on AM with Kim, y'all. I have a word for you. All right. Be